Hello, the name is Varun. I'm from Kerala. I'm an entrepreneur. I was born in a small village. It's a farming village where people worked really hard in the forest, doing log working as well as farming. My father was a log worker. My mom ran a small kirana shop. Now, I'll explain a bit about log working. Have you seen men taking wood, putting their shoulder, lifting it up and putting it in the truck, and then tying it up, let the truck pass through, and then unloading it and that kind of thing? My father was doing that kind of job. I grew up listening to my father working really hard, and I started building the ambition of becoming a truck driver because I was really fascinated about the whole vision of the trucks passing by and everything. I was born in a family which believed in hard work and the importance of education. My mom fought to put us in school. When I say that, what it means is that most of the kids in my school, in my village, don't get that privilege to go to school. They go to a local primary school, they get basic education, and they start working, probably riding an auto rickshaw or getting into the woods or driving a truck or things like that. I started playing football. I was really lucky to get that basic education, and I literally performed well. The lifestyle back in the village really allowed me to gain that kind of physical ability to excel in sports. 10th standard, I was selected in a sports school in Trivandrum. Without that, I would not have got an opportunity to go to college because my parents definitely could not afford me to send me to college. So after 10th, when I was in 10th, I became the captain of my school football team, and I got, we won the championship. And then with that, I went for trials and I got into college. 5 years I would play for Kerala State. I captained the Kerala under-19 football team. Same year I got the best footballer gold medal in Kerala. Thank you. And then I would play for under-21. I became the captain of Kerala University team, and I would go into the Kerala Santosh Trophy team. I go into under-19 Indian camp as well. And during those 5 years, I could see that my ambition to become a truck driver changed to become a soccer player, at the international level. So the key takeaway on those two parts of my life story is that it doesn't matter where you come from. It doesn't matter what you don't have. What matters is that build your ambitions based on the exposure that you build. So unfortunately, I couldn't prolong my football career after those 5 years because during the final year of my college, I fell down on the pitch and I broke my shoulder. I couldn't continue playing soccer. So things were still difficult back at home. I would quit college, I would drop out, pack my bags, and then I would go to Bangalore looking for a job. There is this friend of mine from my village who ran away from the village at a young age, and he ran a small construction shop. I ring him up, I go there looking for a job. He would put me together with 4 construction workers in a construction dome. I didn't speak a word in English. The only knowledge I had was the basic exposure I got during my football days. Those 5 years when I used to play football, I used to travel 5 times or 6 times to different parts of the country. So I used to travel to Bengal, to UP, to Delhi, to Calcutta, to Manipur, all these states, and I used to make friends with the little knowledge that I had. And during one of the trips, one of the teammates of Delhi team gave me his email address to keep in touch. I didn't know what that was. I came back, I started looking at what it is. And I used to play 7-a-side soccer football in Malabar, in Malappuram, to earn pocket money. I go there, make my pocket money, 500 rupees per game. I would come back, land in Kochi. I would walk around on MG Road, buy my jeans, clothes, everything. Then I go spend 1 hour, 2 hours in internet cafe to learn what it is. That's how I had a bit of a computer knowledge. So back to Bangalore story. I would continue my education, my attempt to get jobs there. And many weeks went by. I was not able to cut through in any interviews, primarily because I couldn't speak a word in English. Dear friends, it was a very difficult time. My grandmother, when I left, my grandmother gave me a small bangle worth $80, 3,000 rupees or something. I sold it. That's how I went there. That was the first seed capital I ever raised in my life. With that, I went there. Money was getting over. I realized that after attending 48, 50 interviews, I realized that the interview questions, the patterns of the questions are more or less the same. So I would go to a cyber cafe again, I would Google all the questions, I would by heart the answers, learn the answers, and then I would spend some time reading books. I would go to the library in Malleshwaram. I would start watching CNN and BBC. I started writing down words, how to pronounce, the meaning of words, and I started by-hearting a lot of things. And then I would prepare. I would go to corners where no one is around. I would start speaking in English loud. And finally, with all that preparation, the third month of my life in Bangalore, I got 2 jobs in one day. And both the jobs, thank you. I cut through both the jobs because I did well by my homework. So the takeaway on that, take shortcut. Don't be afraid to take shortcut. Take meaningful shortcut and work hard for it. Don't break the laws. Don't break the rules. You can bend a bit, but take shortcuts. Nothing wrong with that. That's what life taught me. I got 2 jobs. I decided to pick one job. I go in. I realized that my luck is running away from there because they looked at it. They put you in training. It's BPO, call centers. You have to speak good English. And I'm with a by-heart English, right? I couldn't speak well. So I go in. They will fire me. So it goes on for 9 months. I got fired in a number of jobs because I couldn't speak. But during those 9 months of being fired from many jobs, I was able to get 1 month time here and there on the job, 6,000 rupees salary. I took that money. I didn't send money back home supporting my family. Rather, I invested money back into my life, where I went and signed up for an English learning course. And I also went and signed up for a small private tutorial to learn SAP technology, a little bit of technical side. So 9 months, multiple job loss. Finally, I got into a company. I went to Hyderabad. 3 months later, I was the best performer. They sent me to US, and I took off. So that's how I got my first job. I went to America, and I saw a lot of my friends looking around, and the Indian community is getting together and everything. But I wanted to continue my football, so I made a lot of American friends, and I could manage to play with them. So that cultural exposure with those community allowed me to learn a lot. I used to travel with them. Communication came, confidence, all of this, the fearless attitude, all these came because of my football and my exposure to a community that was not a community that is something new to me in the States. I would work for some of the world's largest software companies like SAP and Oracle in America. I moved to Singapore in 2008 through a leadership role transfer. I did 6 years there, and I was elevated to a role where I was required to manage 30 people from 12 countries. It was a role to launch new products into a new territory. So during that time, I started looking around different options to get marketing insight to to enable my team to perform better. And that's when I got the idea of starting a product, a company on my own. I built a software that allows businesses to identify marketing intelligence and sales leads. I did it for my own purpose, and my ex-boss, he was very friendly and helpful. He suggested me to start a company on my own with that idea, and I would sit on it for 3 months because I had less than 40K in my account. I was afraid that who will pay my bills. I had a girlfriend back then, so I had all kind of insecurities. So I would still launch a website, and 3 weeks later, I would get my first order of $500, and the next day, I would put in my paper, I would quit, and there goes, my company took off. Today, the company has grown into a 70-member team in 5 countries. I've got 40 people working in Kerala. I've got 300 plus customers. 16 of the world's Fortune-listed, Forbes-listed companies are my customers. I'm running a social impact business model. Corporate 360 is not operating out of any major cities. It is operating out of a small rural town south of Kerala called Patanapuram. The reason why I went there was I was a village boy once. I'm still. That's my pride. And a lot of boys like me are there who are not getting the right exposure and right opportunities. There is talent availability there. There is quality there, but they're not getting the right opportunity, and I wanted to create opportunities for them. I went to my hometown. I took a small tourist home. I would start my company. My brother, who was working for UN back then, he would join me as a VP. And my girlfriend, who happened to be my wife now, joins me, and 3 of us gets together. And thank you. And 3 of us formed the team, and we started the company in Patanapuram. And today, we are running a social impact model where we built, over a period of 3 years, we built the first rural IT park in the country. It's a 12,000 square feet facility, office facility, where 40 of my employees are working. It's a co-working space where about 10 of them are living in the same space. 80% of my staff are women. Therefore, that is reflecting upon our commitment to women empowerment. From our profits, we adopted the village where my father worked as a log worker and where I was born and raised. We're educating 100 kids from that village. There was no ambulance in that village. The nearest hospital is 20 miles away. I'm running an ambulance service free for the villagers. There was no school bus in that same school we all studied. I'm running a school bus for them. And for about 75 poor families every month, we are delivering food kits. There is a lot more, but that's my story and the key takeaway, right? If you look at it, number 1, build your ambitions and based on the exposure that you get. Never let yourself get stopped or blocked by anything, any external facts. Learn something new every day. Build friends who are not judgmental. Never be judgmental about anything. And if you want to be an entrepreneur, my story or my feedback to you is, or my experiences tells me that try to build a problem that can be solved and find a solution to it and validate that solution and see if it can be commercially feasible and you can build a sustainable business out of it. Thank you very much.